Now where y'all from, huh? Where y'all from?
These old school jumps. Yeah. This will really make them sound like roller time. They gotta go back to these. They playing with sticks. They gotta use that.
The original drummer from the ELWOOD Band. Welcome to the Gogo realm. Mr. Wiggle, Mr. Wiggle, Mr. Wiggle, Mr. Wiggle on down. Woo-wee, Mr. Wiggles in the house. Mr. Wiggle, Mr. Wiggle, Mr. Wiggle, Mr. Wiggle on down. Mr. Wiggle, Mr. Wiggle, Mr. Wiggle, Mr. Wiggle on down. Mr. Wiggles, Mr. Wiggle, come do your thing. Mr. Wiggle, he's funky, funky, y'all. He's holding out the trippin'. Holding out the trippin', y'all. Got that 800 rock. Woo-wee. Mr. Wiggle. Let me hear y'all say now, go, Wiggles. Come on now. Say it again, y'all. What y'all say? Tell them again, y'all. Go, Wiggles. Come on. Do it again now. Go, Wiggles. Mr. Wiggles one more time. And then Mr. Wiggle. Mr. Wiggle. Mr. Wiggle. Mr. Wiggle on down. Mr. Wiggle. Wiggle. Mr. Wiggle on down. Mr. Wiggle. Mr. Wiggle. Mr. Wiggle on down. So Mr. Wiggle.
But let me just say something, and it's not even rehearsed or nothing. Let me tell y'all something. This is very, very special to me, man. For real. Because, you know why? Because I'm a long time, go-go guy, go-go fan. Like I say, but the first, because I'm going to do a piece with this, right? I'm going to explain to everybody, right? Look, man, I saw Ovation. That was my first go-go, man. So I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's so surreal for me, right, to be here and be doing this. Okay, so my thing is, as we get to the end of this, that's when, we're going to ask, I want Boo to bring us up to date with everything with SLADE RHYTHM. But right now, I want to put Boo in a certain mindset of the fact that I want people to see him with his current band, but I want them to also know that he named Shady Groove. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's something that I think is important for him to establish in that. So we go through these questions, Boo. I'm going to ask you some stuff and take your time, but give it how you want to give it, okay?
Yeah.
First question is, so ELWOOD, I see you started playing music at 13, right?
Yeah.
What instrument and why?
So when I first started playing, I picked up the guitar, and I was pretty nice. That was the first time I ever played in a band with a guitar. My father played gigs on Friday and Saturday nights. Sometime on Wednesday, they needed a bass player. So I converted from guitar to bass so that I could get that paper.
Why?
that's what
That's
that's what
something.
this whole thing was about. That's how I changed. That's how I got on with bass guitar.
And
13 years old, I started making money.
13.
13, yes, sir.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, Boo, here's the thing with you, Boo. When did you get into music and why?
Well, when Gogo first hit, I was there. And my cousin from Eastgate, me and him used to go to all the Go-Go's as little kids. I mean, we 12, 13, we sneak out, go to Go-Go's in DC.
Yeah.
And when ELWOOD them started Ovation, we could go to Go-Go's right then. And then that's when a lot of bands from DC and bands that start forming in Virginia.
Yeah, yeah.
Start having stuff at the racks and
Yeah.
rack centers and stuff.
Right.
And man, we would just go, man. And, you know, back then the whole community would go. So I fell in love with it because it came along around the time rap did.
Yeah,
You
facts.
know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
rap was new, coming out of the funk area.
Yeah.
You know, I was a kid when funk was hot, but now here's come this new,
Yeah.
you know,
Genre.
yeah. And then go-go was something. I said, man, you know, my first go-go. But I'll let you ask that, I guess.
Now
But
you go ahead and tell her what was your
well, it was at Hammond, which is so funny that we're
Right up the
up the
street.
street from here.
Yeah.
I was in junior high in the seventh grade,
And who was it?
and at lunch, it was Trouble Funk.
Wow.
That's right.
They brought Trouble Funk to the school
Yeah.
at lunchtime, and I heard it.
Yeah.
Man, I was like, "What?"
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And really that started it. But I really fell in love when I started hearing Rare Essence.
Yeah. You knew. I knew he was an Essence fan.
Yeah, I was an Essence.
You and BB.
Yeah, yeah.
Your cousin? That's
Yeah,
your cousin?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Like my
yeah.
god sister
Cause
cousin.
she kind of, she kind of put us on too. So
Yeah, yeah. And then when they started going, man, it was just full love affair, you know?
Yeah. So it blew up. So and my correction is and correct in saying that they say Ovation Ovation really was the root for Alexandria. I mean, they really were the first band.
The first band, period, in go-go of that genre,
in
period,
Virginia,
in Virginia.
Yeah.
And so, like, I already knew Elwood because they had a band that we used to go to a church and see. That church
Oh
with the
yeah.
statue out front.
Yeah. You talking about Star Child before?
Yeah, Star Child. I mean,
Yeah.
y'all used to
Before the
play
whole
it
go-go.
before the
Yeah.
go-go.
Yeah. It's true.
So I knew Elwood right
Yeah.
there was playing with that band. And then when Ovation came out, man, it was like,
Yeah.
man, they was the Rare Essence. Not
Yeah.
only was there the seed of Virginia, period, but Alexandria, to more or less,
Yeah.
because we had a tight community.
Yeah. So the way Ovation started, man, was like we was just like it was me, Maurice Tills, and Ron Boone, and
Give
we
me a
was
year.
just like,
Well, give me a year. Give me a year.
yeah. So this would have been 81. This would have been 81 because the reason I remember it was 81.
It had to be before 81.
Well,
Yeah.
we was working out in 80.
Because I
So
saw them in '82. See, I saw them in '82.
yeah.
So
So you saw us in 82, but we started messing around in 80, but we didn't get like really start working until like 81. So
okay.
we came out pretty fast, man. But the whole essence, I remember saying, man, we gonna do that. I fell in love with the genre right away. So we started practicing, man. We came up with a real funky thing, man, using cassette tape. So we would go to parties and pop the cassette tape in. People's like, they be in there dancing. It's like, who is this? Who is this? Because for real, like, go-go was really new for Virginia. Like, it was a DC thing. People in DC knew, but most people in Virginia really didn't know about go-go till probably 81, 82, right?
But
So
y'all
we
right
was
across the bridge with them. And y'all like 5 seconds. Once you go across the bridge, you right there.
right, but it's crazy. I mean, people over here was just behind on it. Nobody. I remember going to parties in Falls Church in Virginia, and we would pop uh, our stuff in. People's like, "What is this?" Funky, that, and they started dancing like our house parties. And so that's really what happened with us, man. So me and Maurice Tills, who was the drummer, we was like trying to figure out, man, what should we name this? And we was on the basketball court not too far from here. And I said, man, what we want, man? We want people to party, man, like a standing ovation. So I said standing ovation. He's like, man, that's it, Ovation Band. So
Man,
that's how we started that name, yeah.
I tell you, man, this look.
And
Wait, wait.
and then the years, I guess the years get kind of choppy, right?
Yeah.
Because
You
I remember what age I was when I took that PV amp that my mom boyfriend gave me and put it in a shopping cart. And like we had a bridge from Del Ray area where the
Uh-huh.
baseball field at. We had a bridge to go into Old Town where the projects at. And my dad lived over there on First Street. So it was a couple of guys over there on First Street, and they was playing instruments and stuff. And so, man, I said, I got an amp, a big amp at home and a microphone because like I said, I fell in love when I seen Rare Essence and Funk and
Yeah.
Benny and them doing their thing out, you know. And I've always been hanging in DC most of my life,
Yeah.
so I had experience of seeing it a little before a lot of people. Even if I ain't see the actual band, I
Copy.
knew about the music. You know what I'm saying? But when I seen the first band, then I fell in love. You know, I think that was around 78, 77, 78. You know?
But I'm saying for you, you probably was on it a lot
Yeah,
earlier because Gogo wasn't over here. Like I mean,
yeah,
I was I was in 10th grade in '78 or '77. I was right up right at Hammond,
yeah.
right at '77. You was how old in '77?
Yeah, I was 14. I
Okay,
think I was, hold on, let me see.
because
70,
I'm how old are you now?
hold on, 75,
Because I'm 61.
75, 70. I was 12. I was
Right,
12. So
right.
I was just getting ready to go into Hammond.
Okay,
So I had to be 78 then,
okay.
because I was seventh grade. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
So
So Trouble did. I think Trouble came over
they
here.
came,
People,
yeah.
and then once Essence came over to Green
Green Valley,
Valley,
that's what
over,
yeah.
and that's when
Green Valley.
yeah,
Was in the Summer in the Park in Green Valley.
and that's when Reds was actually playing with him at that show. So they, White Boy's a guitar player, the original guitar player, but Reds was playing with him. Benny, they was, I mean, killing, man. So
Hey,
and
that
and so
era.
I was like, man, I want that here, Yeah, the influences that we had growing up here in Alexandria for Ovation Band, man, was like, I was real influenced by Sugar Bear was like the influencer for me, like being because he's a bass player, and then of course like for us, man, just we thought that there was no band that was cooler, more swagged out than Essence. So Essence was always going to be that for us, over here. So what ended up happening, man, we ended up opening up for Essence at the Howard Theater for years. You
That's
know what I mean?
business.
Like yeah, they was giving us pennies to come over there, man, and just warm it up.
Yeah.
But
But you loved it.
we loved it, man, and and it put us on the map. And of course, you know, from there, man, we started getting gigs all over the place. How we met you was we ended up. I can't remember who was the one responsible. I think his name is Jeff. But Jeff and Lonnie, I don't know if you know Lonnie Simmons, but Lonnie Simmons, I think they went to Parkdale, but they had Jeff played basketball
Okay.
over at Bladensburg. And
Okay.
he got us over there at Bladensburg. When he got us over there, we met Lonnie and this other dude, forgot his name on keys. They actually ended up coming in the band. So we had two dudes
Wow.
from Bladensburg, from that show that you was talking about, that
Wow.
ended up being in our band, man. And it was on from there. We did, we played everywhere, man, all over DC, Maryland rec centers, played at Moonlight Inn, played over at Palmer Park, played at, what was the place over there that was,
Evansville.
that's a Moonlight Inn, but
You
what was
said
the
Moonlight, but now he
Club
talked
LeBurn,
Club
Club
LeBurn.
LeBurn,
That's in
Club
Park.
LeBurn, yeah. Yeah, so we did Club LeBurn, man. Play and then play with everybody from truck, open.
Coliseum.
Yep,
Yeah.
did the Coliseum, opened up a lot for Trouble. So when we played over in Maryland, we did a lot of stuff with Trouble. We come on their sound, no shade on Trouble, but they had to do what they had to do. They give us a little
Yeah,
piece of
back then,
they
yeah.
give us a little piece of the PA system, and then when they come in and they bang it out, what I mean,
Yeah.
we loved it. We was just gigging, so.
That's how it was back then. I mean, it was friendly to pride, like me and Doc
Yeah.
used to
Yeah.
always joke about it, how it was like a warfare, but it
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
friendly
For
pride, man.
sure.
It was friendly pride, but
And
it
you
was
know what?
war back
Yeah,
And
it
you know
was.
what?
Yeah, but we knew where our place was,
then.
man. We was holding it down in Virginia for real. So
But let me tell you though, that's big. See, because Elwood sort of went to somewhere. It's cool because my questions don't have to ever be in order because I like it like we're discussing. Let me tell you, man. One of the questions was, see, because me being naturally born from Maryland, I've always had to defend that fact because, like, I look on my next street over, my first junkyard tape was given to me by a guy named Dwayne Lee, and I'm sure y'all probably know who that is,
okay,
right?
okay,
Because we all from Sea Pleasant. But the thing is, so much Maryland has been incorporated in this genre of go-go, but
yeah,
somehow the district tends to want to take. I'm just saying, they take a lot of the whole brunt of what it is. And the thing
yeah,
is, but I'm saying the question I had for you guys was this: man, it must have been a real satisfying thing though to represent Virginia like that. It had to be.
Yeah. Well, so for me, that's true too. But I don't know why I was never really territorial like that. Like I was never like, and they know, man. Like I remember it was like we would go to DC. Some places we go to DC, you know, people was loving it. The other times we go to DC, people looking at us like these Bama's from Virginia. And so I never had that mindset because I'm like, I'm trying to party and crank no matter where we at. And I got love for DC, I got love for Maryland, you know, VA. But we knew we had to represent VA simply because we came out of VA.
Yeah.
But what was crazy though, we ended up starting to get band members from other places. So when people come in from Maryland, you know, we still represent Virginia, but we also represent Maryland now. And there was a time in the season where we had a lot of love, man, you know, in certain places in Maryland too. And in certain places, it just wasn't happening. You know what I mean? It just, you know, it was that thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
especially you get out there, man, people start getting into their little thing. You know, they youngins, you know, and youngins trying to hold their territory down. It just
Right.
got, you know how it was, man, back then.
It's funny you say that because since 2010, right, when we established SLADE RHYTHM, it's always been a half and half. It's never been just lemonade. It's always been tea and lemonade. It's been mostly, you know, people from DC and people from Northern Virginia.
Yeah.
So it's never been a whole Northern Virginia. Like people might say that because I'm from Alexandria. They might say, okay, that is a Virginia band.
Yeah.
But I can't do that to the members that grew up in Maryland and DC. So
Right.
it's just a band.
You know, made go-go history. That's not a regular cameraman. He don't put in that work. He's the cream of the crop of cameramen. Mr. G got him right here in Malachi, in the back of the rib. We got legendary sound men in the building, Bo Gentry, and also check 1, check 2, Pep Riley's in the building. Y'all got a lot of history up in here. A lot of love over here. DL Funk ain't everything. They go way back. They go way back. They not just an ordinary little group. They don't put in work. When you put that work in, it takes you to another level. Y'all get ready to hear the sounds of a good SLADE RHYTHM band, aka SRB. Yes, indeed. This out 13 years straight, putting in work.
But you know, on the real controversy, man, for real, like, and I'm not about controversy and stuff, but you know, the one thing that I love about now is you can represent the DMV. So back then, it was like, you know, Essence was holding down DC, you know, and really, to be honest, Trouble kind of had a lock on Maryland. I'm talking about back when we was doing it. And then, you know, eventually Air Raid came up. Air Raid had a hold on Maryland, but they was playing other places too.
Yeah.
And for some reason, you get love in the spaces that you grew up in. I remember one time when Shady Groove. So I left Ovation Band, right? Went to Shady Groove. When I went to Shady Groove, they had already been a band. Boo had actually, he was the start of the band, got that going, and then all of a sudden, you know, I'm no longer in Ovation Band. I come in Shady Groove, and man, can I just get to the album part?
All right, here we go. Hey, y'all, all the way out of Virginia, y'all remember VA's #1 band, Shady Groove.
segue into that because, like we always talked about, when I came over with that PV amp, me and a couple homies, we got the band, and we had no name. I remember one of the names they wanted to do was Future Funk. I was like, nah, man, it didn't ring to me. So we went over Westover. That's a basketball area with a playground.
Yeah.
And we had a band meeting, and I never forget it. And because I was traveling back and forth to DC with my cousin, I caught the subway. And I remember I seen on the subway it said Shady Grove. But to be honest, I thought it said Shady Groove. I said, that's a good name. So I came back with the name, right? Because I thought it was slick, right? So I actually had to convince them that it was a good name.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we played at schools and here, there, at the rec centers. We never really made no noise with the initial Shady Groove. We never
Right.
really made any noise. Nobody knew us but the neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
So when the drummer went in, we had to get another drummer. The drummer, he got, went to college, so we had to get another drummer. So the lead player was Chucky Terry at the time.
Okay.
Chucky said, man, I know a guy down the street on Alfred Street. He played drums in his basement, and we could take the amp, because I was moving my amp all around,
Right.
man. So we could take the amp there and everything. And at the time, the guy's sister was going with the eventual lead rapper for the record at the time. So
Right.
he would come down there and try to tell us how to do this and that. But I ended up taking a vacation at the college.
Right.
And when I get back, they had a strong band. And the only original person on that record is P-Funk.
You got that? Lord, I feel like letting P-Funk ride. You got that? Hey, P-Funk, just ride to do what you do, man. Ooh-ah. Right on till. Let's slide, slip through the slide. Man, these lights are real hot up here, y'all. Hey, ooh.
Right.
Now that's
On the Shady Groove on the move.
on the record. Now, when I got back, Elwood was there. Everybody was established. And actually, that was before the record. I got back a little before the record. And P-Funk was coming out. We grew up together, so he was coming out the rec. And I said, man, I got a name for you. And I said, P-Funk. At first, he didn't want that name. I don't know how eventually he got it. But he took it, and they made history, man. That record was awesome. And I always say, even though The Seed was my name, but I'm so proud that they took the baton
Yeah.
and went on to make a great record that's going down in history.
Yeah.
And I'm just honored to be a part of it in any small way.
Got you.
Yeah. So nah, man. Respect on that, man. So when I was with Ovation Band, it's funny, man, how when you gig a lot, man, like somehow you think that all of a sudden we arrived. You play at the Coliseum, you playing at all these places. And I remember the band, to be honest with you, and this is a little bit of the controversy, and I think it's okay to be honest and truthful. No shade on nobody. But, dudes don't want to come to practice no more. Dudes want to come practice high, drunk, whatever the case might be. And it was a shift, man, just a shifting. And then it was some animosity in the group, and I could never figure it out. Then the management started shifting. It was my band, me and Motil's band, and I basically turned it over to some other people to do the management, not to take the band. The band voted me out. The managers convinced them to vote me out. So I was actually going to start my own band, because Rez was out of Essence, so he started doing Rez
Rez and the Boys.
Remember that? So I'm like, man, I have my own boys, right? But then I remember, man, I had heard this band, Shady Groove, and we had let them open up for us. And when I tell you these young Bama's was cranking, like I'm talking about they younger than us, everything, like they was banging. And I was like, man, where they come from? And the core of the band, honestly, man, and I think again, give honor where honor's due. Man, the Congo player at the time, P Funk, one of the funkiest dudes ever, man.
Willie.
And that P Funk was taught by Mr. Wiggles, who was the Ovation Band Congo player. So he passed his stuff on to him. So they was like our sauce.
He
And
sold him his first. Mr. Wiggles sold him his first pair of Congos when we started doing the practices.
yeah,
I
so
remember that.
so 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 yeah, so he and then the drummer Willie, and if you listen to the album, the intricacies of his beats and how
Different, just different.
just different. It's a real different kind of player, It was hard for me to get used to because I like a drummer to just stick solid, like Foots is a more pocket type player, and he could
Yeah.
do all the stuff. But what made Foots special to me was he was solid lock. Doc too. Doc locked when
Yeah.
Doc could do some stuff. But this man was intricate, man. And how he played. And it took me a time to kind of get like, oh, this dude is musical. And I'm gonna tell you something. The difference between Shady Groove and Ovation Band is this. Ovation Band may have felt like we had arrived. Shady Groove was hungry. And them dudes practice every day. When I tell you, I was like, when I got with the band, they was like, yeah, when is practice? Tomorrow. All right. Hey, when's the next practice? Tomorrow. Like they was like, and so when the record opportunity came up, so because we was actually, they came to me, Shine, you probably know Shine, who, at Full House Records,
Yeah.
CJ was working with them, Too Tall Steve from EU, and all of those guys. And I knew CJ. And CJ said, man, what's up with that band, Ovation Band? We looking for artists. He said,
Yeah.
man, I'm not with them no more. And when I told him, I said, this band called Shady Groove, he said, Shady what? He started cracking jokes. And we went over there and sat up
You heard.
it was on 14th Street, I think, is when
Yeah.
the record studio was over there. We sat up, man, and on our warm up, they stopped everything. Said, "Hey, Wood, come here." Pulled me back in the booth and said, "Hey, man, we want to sign y'all
Wow.
because y'all on something different." And so that was the Shady Groove thing. So real quick, man, this is what I want to get to with this though. Like I remember Shady Groove, we would go out and play like at the Moonlight Inn or anywhere, and the album was so hot that we didn't even have to sing the album. People were singing the album in the audience before we even got to they knew the lines,
It was awesome.
All we was doing is just like leading everybody through,
Get to it, yeah.
And it was beautiful. I remember one time, to go back on one other thing about like just the funny hate, man. I remember playing at Cherry's one time, man, and I think it was a little beef that was going on. This is why I say that Gogo was good on one side, but I would have wished that it would have been a little bit more unity around, nonsense on the beefs and stuff like that. Man, them dudes over there, man, they just sat and looked at us. You know what I mean? And when our album was already hot, everybody was playing a joint. And so it wasn't for everybody. But for real, man, I think I want to, Boo, give you honor, man, for starting the band. But Shady Groove, man, to be honest with you, it has something special. That was a
It's a
special
historical
project.
album, man. Like I mean, he
Yeah,
was right. It's a historic.
One,
That
it's
album
top 10.
smashed. It
It's top 10.
smashed, man.
yeah, yeah.
It's top 10 to me.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think I think again, man. I guess I'm at an age where, I'm just being more honest about stuff. I think the recording of it was well. I just wish sonically it had a little
Yeah,
bit more low end to it, right? You know what I mean?
I follow.
Just but it was radio. It was radio ready though
It was.
at
It
the
was.
time, so they knew what they was doing for radio. If it could have been remixed or something like that to fatten up the sounds,
Yeah.
that album really would have, because if you remember during that time, Chuck came out with Money that year, the same year that album came out. When Chuck came out with the Money, man,
Yeah, it killed it.
sonically that thing was off the hook.
But see, you guys touched on something. See, I'm gonna tell you, you mentioned mass extinction. That's why I didn't want to move past where I forgot that. When they listen to Summer Ovation's music, like you hit me 8 times. I mean, I'm hearing that like, man, you
Yeah,
could tell that was an influence on y'all.
yeah, yeah,
hey, but you want to talk about the simplicity of great music. Like where Essence has certain songs that you can say, "Oh man, the one on one and
Yeah,
this and that
yeah.
and this and
Yeah,
that."
Take me out to the
Yeah,
go-go, all that. Yeah,
all you can just run down a list of Essence classics, right?
yeah.
Ovation had the same type of stuff when we was growing up. Man, the Charge,
yeah, yeah.
man,
Basketball.
basketball,
Yeah, Pink Panther joint.
is she the one?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I mean,
They did. They had hooks. That's true.
I mean,
Ovation had the hooks.
they had that, man, and that's why I always say, man, I give honor to the one who take the baton. But man, you if it's no tree with no seed.
Yeah,
That's right.
It's no tree with no seed. This guy right here, you know, you got to go through a lot, and I know now because being in the position I'm in, run the band, man, you got to bite your tongue. You got to, man, you got to take a lot,
All the
and you see the
egos.
kind of stuff. Oh man, you see the kind of stuff he had to go through. That was back in the early '80s, man. The same thing, the cutthroat. I done had
yeah.
two people come in. I mean, come in the band and try to steal the band members and take, and some of them took the band members, but by the grace of God, it always got better.
Yeah,
So that's when I just know the mechanics of doing the right thing renders good results.
Yeah,
facts.
it's
Now,
good.
So
he would.
Yeah.
Let me say what. And you know you avoid it, but Boo, you said it, and I'm gonna visit this back in this interview for people to hear and understand. Now, Boo called you the Godfather of Virginia Go-Go. Are you gonna accept that, or is that overstatement?
Well, the problem that I have with the Godfather is like, that I would say that I would say that I probably was the founder of putting go-go like on the map here in Virginia. I would take that part, but man, this one Godfather, man, I mean I can't even,
But now,
when I think
I'm
of,
saying I
but the
wasn't
Godfather
equating
of
with Chuck. I'm
Virginia,
saying, but for Virginia though, I mean that because I'm telling you, man, seriously, this is such. I tell you, it's landmark for me because I tell you why. It's so much folks don't know. I don't want to digress from the music, but I'm gonna ask both of y'all a question though. So
yeah,
Alexandria, right? Now, I'm not trying to get too deep off into that because we're supposed to be
yeah,
getting Tracy Fails here soon. Mickey's doing that.
yeah, 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 yeah,
But
yeah,
here's the
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
But Virginia, for the respect factor though, I'm gonna take y'all back to y'all youth though. I mean, we talking about Gangster Chronicles and all the stuff in DC and Maryland.
Oh yeah,
But I'm
Town
saying,
Boys over here.
did Alex? That's what we want to know a little bit of. Give us a little bit of. Man, was it rough over there? We want to know, some grit.
Well, look, I mean that's my department, I guess, and because everything back then gives me, the opportunity to share some different way of life now because I came up in the street. We was the ones who really put Virginia on the map with rumbling and all that.
Yeah.
Me and my friends, Big Johnny and Harry and the Town Crew and Dale Ray, all us used to we was all together back then. And
Mm-hmm.
we would come over to the Coliseums and stuff, and man, we rumble. But
See?
we was going just to party. But
Right.
I'm just saying,
Represent yourself.
but by me having relationships with a lot of DC dudes, I always was trying to be neutral. You know what I'm saying? But it was it wasn't no
Hey,
suckers coming
hey,
out of
look,
it,
look,
man.
look, look. That's true too. But here's the thing, and I used to tell these dudes, man, y'all messing up my money, man, because we had. Hey, look, I remember shows. We used to look, man. I'm gonna keep it real. We had shows where I remember I ain't gonna put his name out there because I don't have permission. But he just told me a month ago. He said, "Wood, I remember you used to say, man, hey man, y'all, man, don't fight till after the show." Cause I knew they was gonna come in a fight.
Uh-huh.
It was dudes, it was times when I was like, I had to just put a stop. I said, look, man, he can't come in tonight.
Because he
You know
gonna
what I mean?
run.
I had to do because it was all about for me. I mean, we had our thing over here. You got Town Crew, Town Boys. You had Del Rey, the
South
Valley Crew,
Southside,
South
C
Side.
Mob,
It's
the
all it had some crews out here, man. So and it was a
Section 8 later on and all
yeah,
that.
is
New
that new
projects,
projects?
yeah,
I don't even want to leave them out. I
yeah.
mean, it was
Uptown,
Uptown, West Side,
yeah.
These are all
West
things
Side,
none of us know that.
Stafford Street,
and
that's Uptown.
and if you want to carry it a little further, the Highway Crew.
Yeah,
So because we played out the highway a lot.
Yeah, Gun
You had
Springs is out there.
Yep. So you got Gun
That's
Springs.
where Steve Roy from.
Okay.
Yeah. So it had its thing, but see, for me, like I ain't, to be honest with you, man, I was not on the whole that for me. I know that was them, and I was the one that's always trying to calm them down. Like, hey man, y'all chill, man, because we trying to do something. Because these rec centers, these
Yeah,
people
yeah.
over
They don't like
here,
that.
they ain't want us over here anyway doing this. So y'all messing this joint up so that we can't do. Because let me tell you this: the reason I started doing go-go's in Virginia is because I had to go to the rec centers and make a case.
See?
Every rec center in Alexandria met with me.
Godfather.
That
Godfather.
at the least.
Is that Godfather stuff or what?
No,
Right,
see,
right, right.
I ain't take myself serious about it, but you know,
But think about it.
but so I sat down with them, and so they sitting there looking at me, mugging me. So tell me why you want to do go-go in here when we know there's all this violence. And so I said, number one, y'all can make money. So the rec can make money. As soon as I said that, I had them because I
They
ain't
always
gonna
want
get
the
into
money.
that part.
Money
The
talks.
money always matters, right? I said, but the other thing is, I went through a list of things. I said,
Keep 'em out the
we can get
street.
to keep the kids out the street. Let's have a place. These kids don't have no place to go. They're not going to DC and Maryland. Let's bring it here.
So let me give it for a timeline.
It's sold them.
Yeah,
It's
let
sold
me
them.
give you a timeline on it because for our viewers, this was we was kids, and we're not celebrating the fact of fighting and
Right.
violence and all.
Right.
But what we talking about is that was part of our childhood. That most of the guys that had those disagreements back then, they friends now.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah,
So I
it's
mean,
on something different.
so we on something different, but we was able to live through it.
Yeah.
With nobody coming back shoot nobody.
That's true
And
too.
somebody like most of us became friends because it was a good rumble.
Yeah,
And we said, man, I respect dude
that's
because he
true.
gave me a good one, man.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Then it was sometimes, man, it wouldn't be no game type fight. You might say, man, me and you. And then the fight be over, and y'all might go drink a beer.
that's real. That
That's
was
how
how
we
it was
did. Yeah,
back then.
yeah.
But my whole issue, that's true too. But my issue was the people that was running these go-go's, they wasn't thinking like that because they were like, if the police got to come out,
Oh,
it's a reflection on it.
Yeah.
So it was a different, it was that bittersweet back then.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's a whole like
Yeah.
you really can't do go-go's like that in
yeah.
Virginia now because of it.
Yeah.
It's
I
a
mean,
different time.
the district
And
suffering.
shooting and more
They're
things
shooting
too.
now. They're shooting now.
Hey, but I just always want to drive that home that I don't, today I don't promote violence. I don't promote alcohol and drugs because I haven't touched nothing in over almost 21 years.
Yeah,
Copy that.
So,
yeah.
and I work in the
Respect.
field now. I work in the field of recovery, and I'm an advocate. But I don't try to judge.
I went through all that.
Or,
I went through all that. So I'm
Yeah,
told, because I mean,
yeah,
they
I
can't
don't
see
try to tell nobody what they should do.
the streets. I mean, the street, that whole
You
thing,
do what
boo.
you do. You get what you get.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, you do what you do, but I'm gonna give my experience. Maybe you can get some hope, and then maybe take a different direction.
Facts.
That's what I'm here for. To plant, like we said, plant a seed or water a seed, and
Facts.
we're talking about Johnny Appleseed here, and we're
Yeah.
gonna
No,
water
I
it.
mean respect. I mean, for me, man, and it's not false humility, man. I kind of know my place. What I'm good at though, and I will admit what I'm good at. I'm a gatherer of people. I'm good at bringing people together. I'm real good at that. As from a music standpoint, man, I'm good at putting music together, but I'm not great at anything, you know what I mean? Like so that, I'm just honest about it. I got my own, you know, look, everything that I do, there's always somebody better than me in
Yeah, I know.
any one given
Yeah,
thing.
Oh yeah,
But I am who I am, and
copy that.
I believe in God, and I believe God has a place for me in this world,
Copy
and
that.
purpose matters to me. You know what I'm
man,
saying?
Copy
man.
that.
The ultimate planner is God for me, and
Yeah,
I know we
yeah,
stand in perfect alignment with that.
Copy,
yeah,
And I have to say that He's the same God that sent Christ Jesus.
yeah,
copy that.
I have
Copy
to
that.
say that for myself.
yeah,
Copy that.
man. Yeah, man. I mean, hey, honestly, I can't remember that big dude, man, that was on the
Tony?
mic with. No,
Big,
no, no. He sound like Tony from Mass Extension. I forgot his
oh,
name. Simeon. Simeon is his name. Simeon, man. I mean,
Nice.
he sound like Big Tony was big dude, man. It was something about the music and then the beat, man. I mean, look, man, we talking 40 years, over 40 years ago, and still when I hear that beat, man, it do something to me.
Right? I want both of y'all's. This is the big thing, man. Top 10 bands in order. In order. So whoever want to go first, go ahead.
I give you my quick. This is my quick, and so I'll give you my quick one. And it's always errors, and it's always. But if my favorite, not that they're the best, but my favorite, I would have to say for me, when I think of my putting Chuck aside, Chuck is the best, greatest ever. So let's put Chuck aside, right?
Copy that.
So my number one is going to be Essence. My number two is going to be Northeast. My number three is going to be Air Raid. Yeah, Northeast is my number two. Air Raid's going to be my number three, right? Northeast. I would say Back is in there somewhere. I'm not sure number wise. EU. There's a point in time when EU was, I think it was right 82. There was no band that was harder than EU. Period. When they had Sugarfoot Ricky, who was
Ula Tony. Ula Tony.
Ula, what's his name on guitar? Like it was ridiculous. Like they just sick beyond sick. That one that they did out of Virginia Winchester, I think, is
oh man,
best go-go albums ever. You know what I'm talking about? Crazy. So you got that,
okay.
And I wasn't a fan of Trouble, but I got to give Trouble their respect. Just simply because they
went around the world, man.
The cranking and the power, that sound. See, here, let me just tell you this real quick, man. One of the problems that I think Ovation Band and Shady Groove have, and every band that I just noted, every one of them have a personal sound man, a sound man that goes with that band.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, man, sound is so underestimated. Whatever band you like, let me give it to you like this. Chuck Brown. When you used to go hear Chuck Brown, you was like, man, how's the fidelity so clear? You can hear every instrument, everything sound good. Googie.
Yeah.
Googie. I'm just saying, right? So I just gave you 5 right there, man. I'm not gonna go through the list of 10, but
got you. Boo, give me your 5, and then we'll let everybody go.
Go real quick. We said we're gonna put Chuck aside as
right.
Yeah. Okay. Essence, Northeast, Junk,
yeah,
Air Raid, I'm gonna say
back y'all.
I want to thank you though.
Yeah,
hey man, I thank y'all. And listen, this means a lot. I got y'all.
Well, what made me start lead rapping was, like I was telling you before, when I went to go see Red Essence, and I seen James Funk, and how he was smooth and how he did it, and man, I just got captivated. And then also it was the guy from Ovation, Pluki. He was pretty smooth with his, and I just liked the way they kind of like controlled the crowd and they kept the party. So that was interesting to me, and it was intriguing. So I was already good at rapping and talking, So it was just right down my alley. It was tailor-made.
Cool.
And like other things, like when I was saying, when I came home and Shady Groove was all retooled, I got with a band called Oasis. They had contacted me to be the lead talk, and we did some things. We used to have this place called the Magnum Room out in Alexandria. That was a little home spot, kind of like Cherries, so, they used to be called landscaping. So we all used to play there together. Shady Groove, Ovation, Oasis. So that was a little homegrown thing. And after that, got with a band called Young Funk in the Delray area. So my mom, she moved around a lot. We had moved up there in Alexandria called Delray. So I got with them, started lead talking with them. Then after a while, I was like, man, Young Funk, will always be, my thing is creativity, especially when it comes to names. So I said, man, that might not be good if we looking at the long term. Maybe we should come up with something that's more staying, has some staying power. So man, I pondered on it and prayed a little bit and came back to the rehearsal. I came up with Ace Deuce. The reason I came up with Ace Deuce because, that was just like a knockout that I used to box. So, they hit the Ace Deuce Drake. So I said that we give him a little knockout with that. Like 1-2, Ace Deuce. So we started Ace Deuce. We was on TV, Jones Cable, because the dude Yao, who was our manager, he was connected. And he got us on Jones Cable. I think he was working there at the time, doing engineer stuff. He started a little engineer programs. Some people right now, they get honest. They got, into engineering because of Yao program. And one of Ace Deuce's highlights was a man going across that train track in Maryland, out y'all way, and playing the Evans Grill with Junkyard. And man, that was one of the great nights. And ELWOOD was right. Back then, if you get the cranking, you know what they do. You get that y'all ain't got no back. So, man, but we had a good time, man. And it was some good days. And one thing about those days, I try to tell the guys now, we played for the love of it. I still play for the love of it. But, I understand other people, they do it for their own reasons.
What years was that Gogo, boo? With Junkyard? What years was it? What year was it? You remember the year with Junkyard?
I think it was around 86.
Golden that's golden era.
Yeah, they was kind of transition. They still had a couple buckets. Back then. I remember that. But they was transitioning to get real equipment. They had real equipment too. But like I was saying, man, we used to practice at Yao house. He lived one street over from me. And well, I'm gonna run it back a little bit how I met Yao. Man, I used to hear music come from his house. And I said, man, that sound like that don't sound like no stereo. That sound like some real, speakers, like a DJ or whatever. But man, I would never have prayed. I knocked on the door. I said, well, we got a neighborhood little band. We need some help. We need a manager. He said, come back the next day. And me and another member, we came back the next day. And he became our manager. But, that was the beginning.
Yeah.
That with Ace Deuce. But, then, man, with the whirlwind, because I didn't know better. I still think I was, street dude doing stuff. So, took detours. And until I got back into it with SRB, SLADE RHYTHM BAND.
Okay. Yeah, so now I'm the bad guy, right? Okay, well, make way for the motherfucking bad guy, okay? It's SRB in this motherfucking bitch. And we come to party, so throw your hands up. And the keys in the building. Tell me how you feel. Tell me how you feel. Feel like the keys in the building. Tell me how you feel. Tell me how you feel.
Well, man, I started living right, man, and started in 2002. But when I met my wife, we met around 2005 and 2005, 2006, and man, in 2010, she was like, man, you just work a lot, and you know what I'm saying? You don't really have your own thing that you want to do. We was talking one night. She said, just want you because I don't really have no company or none of that. I might talk on the phone, but I ain't do no hanging with nobody but her. So she said, maybe some hobby, something you want to do. Well, I couldn't box no more. I was getting a little up in age, so I wasn't gonna try to go back in the gym. So, cause my man, he was running the boxing team over at Alexandria. My uncle had started that team, but he had passed away, and one of my buddies was running. So I really didn't like too much train and all that stuff. I love the sport. So I said, well, get back into some gogo. So I did some little investigation and got some other people and made some calls. And Shorty Tim was one of the implement people to help me get people. And then a couple guys from VA, we collaborated, got it, and like I said, I'm creative, so I come up with the name, and the rest is history. Well, what happens is, man, it happens with a lot of bands. If you don't know it unless you run a band, man, because you play a couple shows, and now all of a sudden, like ELWOOD was saying, people become, big-headed, and they think they know better, but don't nobody want to put up no money. Don't nobody want to be on time. Don't nobody want to put in the effort to learn the music. But I'm gonna tell you how to run stuff, and then they think they can do it better than you.
Ego.
And so, yeah. So some of them try to venture out and think it's easy and try to take the other band members and we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. And that was 2010. And SLB had took a break. We had plenty of people come and go like that. I mean, I think the longest tenured person I have in the band is my drummer and my bongo player and the guitar. And they only been around for 2.5 years or maybe going on 3. So, and the band has been going consistently for going on 13 years. Man. Yeah, we done played with Jump. We done played with Northeast. We done played on cards with EU. We done played on cards with Belladonna. And Subtle, we get ready to play with them again. We done played on cards with Kim and Scooby several times. I mean, we've been playing. I mean, God been good, man. I'm always optimistic. The future looks bright, man. Because I'm never in a position where I'm not learning. I'm always gonna stay open to learning. So I don't want to get stagnated, stuck, thinking I got all the answers. I don't. I'm gonna be always a student. So that's why I know it's gonna get better with God and being open to learn. You know, it's all things are possible. Okay, it's gonna be November the 19th, 2022. It's a day show. We're on the card with Subtle and Let It Flow. So it's gonna be real grown and sexy, but it's gonna be crank. So that thing gonna be nice. It's real nice, man. My phone number's on there. If you wanna hire us, just call.